would like to reopen the Village of Bronxville Board of Trustees meeting for April 13th, 2026, and ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we start tonight. This is one of our, one of my favorite nights, are swearing in trustees, new and incumbent, and our justice. And I want to start by welcoming Vanessa O'Friel. It's wonderful to have you here. And you're already a fabulous colleague and friend.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
So it's just terrific. And you know, we're a team, and anything we can do to make this, it's a wonderful job, and I know you will love it.
Thank you. I'm
And
looking forward to it.
Mary Behrens, I emailed her tonight, and she said she wished you the best, and she said it's a little bittersweet because the five of us do have a really nice synergy, and you're already a part of it.
Thank you very much. Looking
Yes.
forward to it. Honored to be in her seat.
Yeah. And of course, my colleague, Helen. One of the best trustees ever, keeps me, you know, online in tow and watches our budget. And you had a great affirmation from the village to continue as trustee, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then the judge. Yes. I tell my colleagues, people really cannot believe it with the way the world is so politically divided, that I think these two judges are the definition of how a community should work. They both, you know, battle hard to get where they are. They are the absolute best team. I think it's one of the best duos we have ever had in the village, and they work together. And to me, they are the definition of what a community should be all about. And I just use both of you because it speaks so well to you and to this community. So, and Judge Nordell came tonight to swear in her fellow justice. Says it all. All right, so I'm handing it over to you, Judge. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I do solemnly swear.
I, William Prince, do solemnly swear
Thank you. I, William Prince, do solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold
that I will support and uphold
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
my duties as village justice
my duties of village justice
of the Village of Bronxville
of the Village of Bronxville
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
It really is a great honor and a great privilege to attempt to serve another 4 years and serve the village in that fashion. And I do take the mayor's comments about the teamwork and immortal formed over the years as the real North Star, what we're trying to accomplish here in so many ways. And I did want to say one other thing. This past Friday, I was at the Reformed Church for the memorial service of Bob Riggs. And I served with Robert Riggs for probably 7 or 8 years as a village trustee. And he was a giant.
Yeah.
He really, really was. And I think all of you, certainly I felt this way when I was a trustee, were privileged to walk in the footsteps of giants, which is what makes it so great.
What a lovely, yeah, thank you for saying that. Thank you, Judge. All right, we have my wingman and, yeah. The terrific Helen, who covers everything for me. Between her and Mary Ann, yeah.
I, Helen Knapp, do solemnly swear that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as village trustee of the village of Bronxville, to the best of my ability.
Reiterate what everyone said about value of partnership and working together, across ideological lines. Everybody really brings such a great perspective to this position, and I think the ability of all of us to share ideas collegially and with respect makes it such a special place to have a really wonderful experience to work with all of you here. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And now our new trustee, Vanessa O'Friel, and Vanessa, I think it's going to be one of your favorite jobs. I do.
I, Vanessa O'Friel, do solemnly swear that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as a village trustee of the village of Bronxville, to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
I gave Vanessa a hard time earlier, and I explained that she didn't know she had to give a 5-minute oratory on her first, but she declined tonight, but you are welcome to do that anytime.
Thank you very much.
All right, we go right to the appointments and annual actions, Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Okay. This is something we must do, state law, every year at this particular meeting. And so I will read them as expeditiously as I can. But they're very important because it's all people who, God knows, give their time and effort to our wonderful community. Our deputy mayor for 1 year, Robert Underhill, village clerk, 1 year, James Palmer, village treasurer and receiver of taxes, Lori Voss, deputy village treasurer, 1 year, Kate Fitzpatrick. These are all 1-year terms. Village assessor, Mark Heinbachel, village historian, Ray Gesselbrock, village prosecutor, Ronnie James Rich, our registrar, Dulce Angel, and our deputy registrar, Marianne Magliotta. Auditor to the Board of Trustees, it is our village administrator for a one-year term. Auditor to the Justice Court is Lori Voss, village treasurer. Village auditor is O'Connor Davies, LLP. Signatures who can draw on the bank accounts of the village may be signed by any two of the following: mayor, deputy mayor, village administrator, treasurer, or deputy treasurer. For the account of the Justice Court, they have to be signed by a village justice. Bank transfers and federal wire transfers can be signed by any two of the following: mayor, deputy mayor, village administrator, or treasurer. Our fund balance policy, which is fairly new, am I correct, colleagues?
Yes, formal fund
Yes.
balance policy,
So
yes.
it is the goal of the village to achieve and maintain an unassigned fund balance in the general fund at fiscal year end of not less than 25% of subsequent year budgeted expenditures. If the unassigned fund balance at fiscal year end fails below the goal, the village shall develop a restoration plan to achieve and maintain the minimum fund balance. In addition, and this is what we all talked about, should unassigned fund balance of the general fund exceed 40%, the village will consider such fund balance surpluses for one-time expenditures that are non-reoccurring in nature and will not require additional expense outlays for maintenance, additional staffing, or other reoccurring expenditures in addition to the assigned use and tax stabilization reserve. In essence, what we were trying to do is keep a healthy fund balance, but not such a big balance that it didn't reflect the actual cost of government that year. So we're trying to be, is that a simplistic way of saying it? We wanted to make sure we were comfortable, but not so comfortable that we were perhaps going to put taxes on a group of people for a year going forward. And we worked very hard on this policy, thanks to the deputy mayor. Procurement policies for goods and services which are not subject to competitive bidding or purchased under state or county contract. The following methods of purchase will be used to assure the prudent and economical use of village funds. For purchases $1,000 to $2,999, we ourselves require a price quote of 2 written quotations. $3,000 to $19,999, we require 3. $20,000 and above, I'm trying to make this, I guess I should read it. Price quote requirements subject to publicly advertised bid or RFP, request for proposal, must be circulated to at least 3 companies, and the contract must be approved by this entire board and myself and signed by the village administrator. Public works contracts, again, in the amount of $1,000 to $4,999. 2 written quotes, $5,000 to $34,999. 3 written quotes, and $35,000 or above, again, has to go advertised with an RFP, and at least 3 companies must be solicited and approved by this board and myself, and signed by the administrator. Bank depositories, we have funds with JP Morgan Chase, Webster Bank, M&T, and Westchester Bank. And we really tried to share, it's important, the people who invest in the village, join the chamber, set up a bank here. We really try to involve them in village funds because they're part of our team. Surety bonds, they're filed in the amount, all employees, 200,000 per loss, premium to be paid by the village. Official newspaper, and this drives me crazy. We fought so hard. We were the first community actually in the state to try to get electronic newspapers to be able to allow us to be an official newspaper, because people read, for example, my hometown, Bronxville, and they don't read low HUD that much. But our wonderful assemblywoman, Amy Paulin, carried this for us, but the print newspaper, and particularly the New York Times, went after this. So it has not changed. We have to put all our zoning, planning, any tax, any notice in a print newspaper. So we have to designate the Journal News as our official newspaper. We're still hoping to get this changed, but anyway, that's something we care deeply about because we want people, the circulation, low HUD versus our online paper is quite different for local residents. Our meeting dates, there will always be at 7 p.m. on the second Monday of each month. We don't meet in August because so many of you are away, and frankly, we never want to bring up a topic of importance during August. So it worked out to make the July meeting busier and the September meeting busier. We have a couple changes. They'll be posted. Miriam, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, we moved to the Tuesday. It depends on our only changes, but we will publish that. Mileage reimbursement, beginning in January of this year, are the use of cars, pickups, panel trucks are 0.725 cents per mile for business miles. And these are the really important things to me, having been a member of the zoning board. These folks, all of you, give the extraordinary amount of hours that are given as volunteer hours, and the wonderful people who re-up. And one of them is here, James Hayden, you're the deputy of the planning board. Is that the vice chair? Vice chair is the correct word. So to the planning board, Michael Goldman and James Hayden, each reappointed to a 2-year term. Thomas Brasco and Richard Gegenwarth, each appointed to a 5-year term. Design Review Committee, Derek Chan, Nita Navab, and Stephen Dallendorfer, 2-year terms. Zoning Board of Appeals, John Brown and Charles Law, 5-year terms, and Mary Ellen Carpenter and Gregory Jackno to 2-year terms. Ethics Board, James Purdy and Marilyn Hill, 2-year terms. And the Library Board of Trustees, Brian Doherty, Margaret Major, Diana Dykert, each appointed for a 3-year term. Bruce Stern, Amy Korb, Lauren Toll, and Greg Gleason for 3-year terms. And that's going to be hours and hours of incredible volunteer service. So thank you all, and I can thank one in person. Thank you, James.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
About those appointments, why are some of them for 2 years and some for 5 years on the planning and zoning board?
Because some are finishing terms from folks who moved, folks who got off the board. Is that, and
Michael Goldman and Jim were appointed for 2-year terms, and Brasco and Geigenworth are reappointed for 5-year terms.
and that's your role, you're appointed, chair and vice chair. I should have made that.
Okay.
I should have made, you're exactly right. And we're a little iffy about that. No, but it is the role, and I should have, chair, vice chair makes a difference. And some are filling unexpired terms. But you're right, when I said chair, and I should have mentioned that. Thank you, Helen. See, that's why you needed to be reelected. All right, James, did I do everyone correctly? I believe so. All right. Mayor's report. I go back, what I do is go from the last meeting to events that are coming up before the next meeting. And I just have to share, everyone has to support our picture house. They had a fabulous fundraiser almost a month ago, because it was right after our other, but it's iconic. Bob's mother talked about going to the movie theater. Could you?
Cigarettes.
She used to smoke cigarettes in the balcony with her boyfriend. And that was, and it's going to have its 100th anniversary. We can't lose our theater, and they just need our help because they are a nonprofit. And sometimes we think of it, I mean, the revelation to me was the studios get 70 cents on the dollar for a movie ticket. I thought if they had a big hit of a movie, it would translate into a lot of profit. Anyway, they are a magnet for the school, the arts. Anyway, keep them in mind because they are another not-for-profit. We marched in the St. Patrick's Day parade in Eastchester. We were freezing cold. Judge was there. Anyway, it was wonderful just to be there. Jim Palmer and I are on the Bronxville School Science Advisory Committee. And these young people are looking at the Bronx River, and unfortunately, what they're learning is not good, but they are really making a difference. You and I have been amazed at what these young people, and they've helped us. We've added, even though it's not our property, we've added garbage, whatever the young people tell us, we follow. Boy Scouts came over. Thomas, you took care of the Boy Scouts. Continental Beauty Shop celebrated 65 years in that location. And Nick, who said I could tell, he comes to work every day and he's 88 years old. We had Park Place. The young students at the Bronxville School have totally connected with the police department. And the other night we had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament on Park Place. And with a little help, the police won the tournament. It was fabulous. And this comes on the heels of a paddle tournament. And then the young women at the Bronxville School want to have a flag football game against the police department. Our relationship with the school has never been better. I'm going to ask you to talk about the Green Committee. Wonderful. I'm actually the chairman of a a group trying to get the entire county to reassess property like we do in a very helpful way. For example, our neighbors who would admit it in Mount Vernon, they last reassessed in 1898. And their numbers pretty much are a little out of whack. And I just have to share with you, before we reassessed the village, we had certiorari claims well over 400 a year, and now we average less than 50. So the money you save, you pay for reassessment quite quickly. I mean, it's amazing. Sunday, I was at a wonderful ceremony. The Women's Club is starting its 101st year, and another great organization to support. And Arbor Day, tree planting. It's going to be Friday the 24th, 3:30 in front of the Giving Garden. We'd love everyone to come. And Tuesday, April 21st, our Bronxville Teachers Union and New York Presbyterian are getting together to have a blood drive, and that will be at the Bronxville School Gym. And I think, I was on a wonderful panel at Lake Isle with the mayor of Stamford, Mount Vernon, and New Rochelle. And what they had in common is we were all female mayors. So it was a really, it was just a great day. And I was honored to be a part of it because those places are much bigger, but we all have the same, we're a microcosm of what goes on in all of those places. So that's my report. Trustees, what did I miss? Green.
Well, I know, Jim, you're probably going to talk about Arbor Day. I know there's a resolution about it, but
Right.
I'll just say a little bit more about what's going on that Arbor Day that you mentioned on April 24th. It's going to be starting at 3:30. There's going to be a tree planting ceremony. Mayor's going to give remarks. There's going to be students participating. They're going to be giving away tree saplings. So people can just come and take one of these small trees and take it back and plant it in their homes. This is really the spring of the tree, I would say, in Bronxville. There's a lot of initiatives we have to plant more trees, including the right-of-way program that's going on. They're also going to be the start of the compost give back. So there's going to be a big pile of compost there on the day that residents can also, and others can come and bring a barrel, bring a bucket, and you can get healthy compost to take back to your garden and mulch your flowers or your vegetables. Give Back Day is not till May, so May 30th. We'll talk more about that. I think that's the main thing from the committee.
Okay.
I would just say one of the things I did this weekend was attend part of the time that the Rackets, the new company that we have that is managing the village tennis and paddle and pickle facilities, Elite Racket Solutions, had their spring kickoff at the village courts. They had a full day of tennis clinics, pickle clinics, racket demos. It was a great turnout, and it was a beautiful day, and they had a lot of adults, students, people from all over, people who have used these coaches where they teach up at Westchester and other places, and I just heard so many great things about those coaches, how great they are with adults and with students, so I think they're bringing a lot of energy, a lot of great things planned. And they were very complimentary of all the support you've given them, not only on the day, but throughout these months, they've been ramping up their work.
Just anything else? No? Okay. village administrator's report, and I have to, Mr. Palmer just came back from a few days. He has twin daughters who are juniors in high school, and he traveled and learned what college costs. So he's having a little problem this week. So, yes, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
On better subjects. First and foremost, the board has talked about the landscaping plan for the Crawford Drainage Improvement Project, which is going on the east side of the village over by Sidewalk. I don't know if you've been over to that area. That 6-acre parcel that the village has is being transformed. We appreciate everyone's ongoing patience, but the landscaping committee has finalized a plan, and that updated plan will be posted on the village website, identifying the location of the walking path and the tree plantings. So after the storm drainage improvements are put in, including a stormwater channel, open channel for the water to flow through, there's going to be significant plantings, native plantings, non-invasive plantings, and a walking path around the perimeter of the site. So there is some information on the website already. If you go to the Village Board of Trustees page, go to Stormwater and click on Crawford. But the latest revised plan I just received this afternoon, and it incorporates some additional comments that Trustee Fredericks had raised, along with the landscaping committee that was assigned by the village board to review the project. So we'll put that out there. But again, at this point, I guess we'll be announcing that the board is directing me to put those improvements out to bid. So while the village had bid out the stormwater improvements, we did not bid out the landscaping plan. So we will we'll work on doing that over the course of April. So I just wanted to mention that. And I should also mention, of course, Trustee Fredericks has been chairing the landscaping committee along with the deputy mayor, and Trustee Fredericks was away on business, couldn't attend. I just wanted to mention that. So please look at that site to see the additional plans. Special thanks to all our, again, the volunteer groups, the working gardeners, and the working gardeners and the nearby residents who take such pride in the plantings there. So they've done a wonderful job and provide a lot of input. Also related to the Arbor Day ceremony, something that I'm discussing with Elizabeth Hayden is her interest in doing something on Earth Day, which is on the 24th, or rather on that Wednesday, right? I guess it's the 22nd. Arbor Day is on the 24th. So we're working on possibly doing something such as even having one of our recycling trucks downtown, perhaps, and even having the Green Committee have some of the recycling bins on display and compost bins. So anyway, Elizabeth took a lot of interest in that. Thank you, Liz, for that. And another way to also promote the Arbor Day. The Arbor Day you already mentioned, quite excited about that. But in conjunction with that, just a reminder, the board has brought this up previously. The Bronxville Historical Conservancy has generously made an enormous contribution towards tree planting in the village. So if you want to have a tree planted on the front of your property, please just contact me or my assistant Thomas, and we can meet you out on site to find an appropriate location in your front yard where we could plant a sizable tree. We have a host of options available on the website. We're going to be working with capable landscaping companies that will install the trees, carefully pick them from appropriate nurseries in the area. But part of the goal here is to aggressively replace between the spring and the fall, but into next year, but replace those trees that we've lost due to storms over the years. So, which on that segue is So please reach out to us. You don't have to have a specific location. We'd be happy to meet with you and find a spot that works, takes into account the size of the tree. We have different sizes, small, medium, large. Well, with that, switching gears in the winter, DPW has done an amazing job already. The street sweeper has been out every day, picking up all that sand and debris and mulching all the beds throughout the village. Today, the Boulder Ledge Club was out working in Centennial Park, so even that area is already looking a lot spiffier. And the village is going to start doing some tree planting over the course of the next couple of weeks in the downtown. So, and we've also started to incorporate this tree planting program with some of the private property owners who are following our guidance and recommended trees, including the owners of 81 Tangawall in the corner where all those white pines were removed. They're going to be planting some really significant trees, sizable trees over the course of the next couple of weeks. So we appreciate that. So that's ongoing. And then we're also going to try to get some paving underway so we can get into last year's prices before those prices take a jump. And as long as the weather holds out. So some of the other information is in the newsletter. So we just please ask that you make sure you look at that. Just again, shifting gears, lots of spring projects now underway, including the next level of drainage improvements at different locations in the village.
Thank you. Thank you. We will move on to the approval of the minutes, and thank you, as always, to Mary Ann Magliato. And there are 3 sets. Our work session with the Design Review Committee on March 4th, executive session, work session, and regular meeting minutes of March 9th, and another executive session of April 6th. Do I have a motion?
As a whole.
Yes, we can do them as a whole. In a second? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes. All right, public hearing.
Just one question, just following on Jim's comment.
I'm
one
sorry.
question. No, I
Yeah.
just came to my mind. You mentioned the project with the Bronxville Historical Conservancy about tree plantings in the right of way. What has been the interest level? How many, have there been people coming up to do this? And if so, about how many?
Not really that many.
Not enough.
Yeah,
We
not
want,
that- yeah, and I think people are confused and sorry, I didn't get- yeah. I think when we talk about public right of way, and there's a lot of information on the website, it can be a little confusing. So not that many. Someone comes in, they see a resident, and they say, "Oh, I know your tree came down a few years ago in one of the storms. Can we put a new tree up?" I'm just going to check with his wife. But please, it's real simple. We have a host of different tree options. Not everyone agrees where they want a tree. Over at Field Court along Willow, I think the neighborhood there wants a tree, but they want it at the right location. So I'm going to, between Tom and I, we're going to meet him on site, a final location. So again, different size trees, different types of trees. They are on our website. And just reach out to us and we'll help you on it. See, it's the tree canopy is something that's really important to the village, something that the county now, through the planning department, is even actively measuring. There's a whole active, interactive website that you can see to measure a community's tree canopies. So anyway, thanks for bringing that up.
and you can also, I don't think people realize, you can nominate a spot in one of the business districts that you think needs a tree, or those of us who live in apartments and condos, we're part of the whole treescape. So it's not part of just in front of a residential home, but we need more folks because the village actually, 60% of us live in single-family homes and 40% of us live in apartments, co-ops, and condos. And we need those trees. So just reach out, even if it's not in front of your home. If you have an idea, we're ready for it. All right, did I get a motion and a second on the minutes? And then
That was passed.
passed, okay. And then the public hearing, and Mr. Palmer, you will talk to this because you handle it, but I need a motion to open a public hearing for a local law to amend vehicle and traffic law, Chapter 290, by amending parking prohibited in designated locations. And
Yep, very simply, so, yes, all our parking rules and
wait, I
regulations.
need a motion.
Oh, sorry.
All right, and I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Yeah, sorry, the public hearing has a different motion issue.
Yes, so all our parking rules and regulations are identified in the village code. So any changes to those, as is required for the village code, requires a public hearing, opening and closing a public hearing. So this very small change, just adjusting the no parking zone on the easterly side of Parkway Road to increase the no parking zone by an additional 25 feet to incorporate no parking at the crosswalk that's located mid-block on Parkway Road at the intersection with Paxton Avenue. So it's, parking is very important. There's 2-hour parking during the day on Parkway Road. We recognize the importance of that for the residents that reside there, given that it's a multifamily zone, and there's not just single family, but 2-family homes with some limited parking on site. However, the request did come to the village, and rightfully so. The no parking at the crosswalk should be expanded 25 feet to make sure there's proper clearance for a pedestrian coming to and from the other side. So that's what the simple change is just, again, amending the existing no parking at the crosswalk by an additional 25 feet, because unfortunately, to enforce that zone, obviously, we need to have this change in the village code. And right now, we do have cars that are trying to squeeze in and park right on top of that crosswalk.
In the code that specifically says there has to be this much feet of clearance on either side of a crosswalk?
Actually, yes, 20 feet.
20, so we're amending it to
Yeah,
25.
we're amending it 20 plus an additional 5 just to accommodate given where driveways are, just for this specific location, right?
And this was brought to us by a fair number of residents on Parkway Road, and the police chief, the department looked at it, and everybody thought their request was extremely valid.
And it takes away one parking space?
Not quite a full
No,
parking
it
space.
moves
It just moves
everything.
a little closer.
It's a small change, but important change so we can enforce that area. Yeah, but very fair question. 20 feet across one.
And if any of the trustees do not have a problem with that, and I can ask you, we can close the public hearing and then actually have the resolution to allow that extra 5 feet. Does anyone have an issue? No? All right.
I want to ask if there's any public comment on it. or-
Oh, I'm sorry. If anyone, thank you. If anyone in the public wants to talk about that particular resolution at this moment. Okay, seeing none, then I need a motion to close the public hearing. Your first motion. And I need a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, then I will move to adopt then this local law 1 this year to amend the vehicle and traffic law. I'll move it. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Aye. All right, motion passed. We have no one opposed. I need a motion to open a public hearing on a very important 2026, 2027 village budget. I'll move it. Do I have a second? Okay. All those in favor? All right. Public hearing. I wrote about it, I think, 2 weeks ago. And Mr. Palmer, I'm trying to think, I always look at it as how it affects our residents. And we're approximately, depending on the year, we're approximately anywhere from 16 to 20% of your village budget. So for every $100 that you pay directly to the village, it's not Eastchester, it's not the fire district, we receive often about $17 and the school receives $83. That's how it usually shakes out. So our budget, we are coming in under the state cap. And to give you an idea, if you have a home price worth $1.5 million, you will see $188 increase in your tax bill, which will raise your village tax bill, village part of your tax bill, to $5,250. If your home is worth almost $3 million, you will see a $238 increase, and your village end of the tax bill will be $10,150. I'm trying to think, our budget, our appropriation, I think we're $430,000 or 2.02% above last year's budget. Is that correct?
Correct,
And-
just over 2%, correct. Yep.
Yeah, but because of the way the tax cap works, we're under the cap. Any other important numbers I should add to that?
Sure. So if I can also just emphasize for everyone, again, the budget hard copy is available in Village Hall. It's also available online under the village treasurer's page on our website, along with a history of all the other municipal budgets. But as the mayor has written, budget is drafted, presented to the board on March 20th, has to be adopted by May 1st. As the mayor said, appropriations are up 2%, 2.02% to be exact. The levy increase, the change from last year's tax levy to this year is 2.58%. Everyone knows where the rate of inflation is. So over the course of the year, so the village's tax levy is coming in below the rate of inflation this year. And as the mayor emphasized, the village does have to be compliant with the New York State tax cap law. And this year, the levy increase is compliant. It's not exceeding the tax cap. Just mentioning that. As the mayor said, revenues are up slightly. Revenues are up slightly. Taxable value, once again, is up this year by almost another $150 million. The village's total taxable value is just under $4 billion. Impressive by any standard. Assessments, the median assessed value, as the assessor has explained, the median assessed value has gone up by an additional $100,000 now. $2.8 million home, now $2.9 million. The village general fund covers most of the library budget, with the exception of $85,000 from some other sources from the library, from the Friends, et cetera. So the village, part of that 2.58% levy increase, includes $1.8 million to fund the wonderful public library that we have. That's important. Library budget overall up is slightly more, since they don't have those other additional revenue sources that the village has. So just wanted to emphasize that. What I had mentioned in my message to the board, in summary, strong growth in the village's tax base continues to grow impressively. Non-real property tax revenues up a little over $100,000 once again this year. The village historically budgets conservatively, but building permit revenues have continued to be up, in part due to hospital permit fees. The hospital, while tax exempt, does pay for permit fees. And of course, building construction overall, if you just drive around the village in residential areas, is significant. So we did budget a little bit more aggressively there. So that's a revenue driver. Sales tax continues to grow and is very positive. It's been growing countywide. It's doing well here. So we budgeted 1.8 million for sales tax. We'll should come in close to that number. So our single largest revenue source continues to be the sales tax, which continues to grow. On the expense side, some of our drivers you hear is with other communities, the village is mandated to pay for those increases to the employee and police and fire retirement system. So the village does that. Other employee benefits that continue to increase, including health insurance. On the other hand, significant change that helped us reduce the net expenses this year was the payoff of a 2014 bond, which reduced the village's debt service. So anyway, just some highlights, but again, you're always welcome to email me, the village treasurer, or call us or look at the budget online.
And to me, I look at the bottom line and trying to stay at 2%. Our liability insurance from the state went up 10%, and our health insurance went up 8%. So when we try to stay at 2, we are not adding programs. We are cutting things to pay for large numbers. But
And I think important point to mention there, though, is when we talked about the village having a fund balance policy, the board strategically allocates some of that fund balance and assigns it to categories, including for these increases in the employee retirement system, increases in other benefits such as health insurance. And the board also established and funds a tax stabilization account. So those monies are assigned there, and if to ensure that the village obviously provides the maximum service, the lowest possible increase for you, but looks at that over an extended period of time to try to be consistent, and as opposed to some other communities that might see massive fluctuations in their levies. So we do 5-year projections to look at what is our assigned fund balance, how can we allocate, where is our debt service anticipated to be over a period of years. So that's something that the board charges the treasurer and I to look at regularly. And quite frankly, even though the budget is adopted once a year, the treasurer and I work on that continuously throughout the year and monitor the revenues as they come in to make sure our projections are in line with what we expect, and likewise expenses. And we have a great team that this year we always budget for expenses, for example, in snow removal. Many years we didn't have it. This year we did exceed what we budgeted for overtime, but it was an exceptional year. But other years we didn't use that, and that went into fund balance that we would then assign as necessary.
I think that's really so commendable, is the foresight and
Yeah.
you all have when you're looking at these budgets to smooth out those momentary blips, that a source of revenue, you don't count on it being there every year, expenses that might not be there one year, you know is going to come back another year. So I think having that long-term conservative perspective is service to the village. And you know, to keep it at this low level of increase while still working on these programs of major importance to the village, like the flood mitigation, the downtown traffic improvements. All these things are so important to the village, getting them at these manageable costs.
well, you know, it sort of segues. I was going to say, even with this small number, we're still this year, because we have to do capital projects. We have to reconstruct the Milburn retaining wall. If you ever walk behind Avalon, that wall is falling apart. And we've worked hard with engineers. That has to be fixed. The roof of the DPW building, we're very proud of, is going to be a solar installation of the entire roof. We have the Crawford drainage projects. Route 22, we're going to improve the pedestrian signals, a lot more sidewalk and curbing, new catch basins.
And to,
And
and
the money that you're working to get from the state, from the county, from FEMA is.
right,
And it's so successful.
right, and to that point, while what the board's considering now is the adoption of the operating budget, we do have the mayor's approved the 5-year capital plan, where again, we identify our needs over a 5-year period, and we look at those funding sources, and we are fortunate that, yes, we have a great team of dedicated staff that seek out every opportunity to find matching funds, whether it even be funds for a garbage truck that we can get a grant from the Department of Environmental Conservation on, because we're going to put recycling on it, and it's going to be used for recycling, or in the case of the Crawford drainage. So we are fortunate that we have some $5 million in grants from various sources that help offset those. And of course, we got some great legislators on the state level that also help us and especially help fund several of those improvements at the library. So, and we have a lot of those items in the hopper to do some more of these downtown improvements. We have applied for another Safe Streets program, so we're hoping that we're going to get that from the county.
So I am,
That all helps keep the debt service number down, which again is something that the board tries to stay consistent on. And our debt service generally is in that 11.5% of our overall budget appropriation.
which keeps us at the highest bond rating along with Scarsdale. No? So I keep the public hearing open because we want people, if you have a comment on our budget on the website, you're welcome to reach out to us until the 20th.
Right, so I think this, right, so what we did set, if with this, I set that Tuesday as the date which we would
Officially
close
adopt
the
it.
public hearing and hopefully adopt the budget. So we'll be convening on Tuesday, April 21st. to consider
sorry.
the adoption of the budget in addition to some other items that you need to discuss. So we're keeping it, keeping it open to the 21st. So, and again, any written comments in addition to the board, you can send them to me or call me. It's very important that you see where your dollars go. Staff levels are remaining the same. We have 25 funded positions for the police department, not quite at 25, but 25 positions there. Our next largest chunk of employees, 17 of those employees are DPW employees. 6 employees dedicated to just sanitation. The remainder that do all the other work, from the cutting the grass to repairing the street signs, or this time of year, replacing and repairing sidewalks, curbing, smaller drainage. We have 8 dedicated full-time employees at the library, 13 administrative employees. Any questions, please send them.
All right, then we will just move on. Mr. Palmer, these other ones are very internal, very important, but if you want to go to,
Mayor, just
yeah, I'm sorry.
it's only appropriate to say thank you to Jim and
Yeah.
Lori for an amazing job. When we go
Yes.
back, before the two of you were here, we would spend 5 nights in a row with a plate of sandwiches from 5 to 9, 5 nights in a
Yeah.
row. And the way you have brought this together over the last several years is amazing. And then also how you've teamed up to work on these grants from FEMA, from the state and from the county to do this is simply extraordinary. So we have to really make sure that everyone's aware of the extraordinary jobs that the two of you and your teammates are doing. So thank you.
Well said.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Lori. All right, then our in-house resolutions, B, C, D, and E, they're pretty perfunctory.
Right, and with these that are requiring expenditures, we're using monies that we have from the unassigned fund balance for these smaller projects, which is what the village does. We take on debt service based on the life of the project or the equipment for those items that we take on debt. These items, the smaller items, are using assigned fund balance or unassigned fund balance. So the first one is computers. Computers are really getting expensive. The next few resolutions, I know it seems crazy. I had to look at the items that we were getting for switches and routers, but as everyone's reading about with these construction of the data centers, the price of this equipment is really going up. And but we have we don't do IT in-house. We have an outside firm that's utilized by a majority of the communities in Westchester. They do great work. They keep us updated. It's absolutely more cost effective, but we purchase the computers on state contract. And those contracts, unfortunately, are going up. But the first item is for purchase installation of computers for the PD training room. This total cost is $7,500. This is, again, going to come out of the unassigned fund balance that we have. And for the public certification, this again is the training room. It's the old DPW. We reutilize all the space that we have in our small village campus. This is the old DPW break room and office, in-house between police officers on their own time, and the great skill set of the DPW. They refinish the space with flooring, et cetera, and the PD now uses that as a training room. So we want to set up computers in there for our officers, and we also host some of the other police departments that are part of our core network.
Deputy Mayor, would you like to move that for our
Move that,
PD?
yes.
Yes, and a second? Second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, and the next item is authorizing $9,200 for a drone box.
What is a drone box?
I know. Drone box goes with the drone. This is I know, it sounds expensive. This equipment is where the drone is housed, where it's recharged and stationed in a truck so that it's permanently available and ready to go right out to site at a moment's notice to do what it needs to do. So believe it or not.
Drone box will be in one of our vehicles on a
Yes.
permanent basis.
Yes.
Okay.
Who now on our PD is trained to fly? You have just one person?
We have one officer and others in training, so multiples. Right, I think Brandon, most informed, most demonstrated out, but he's in turn training the others. So,
And what
Yeah.
people ask me, what is it used for? Because people are concerned about, perhaps a little invasive use. What do we use it for?
nothing invasive, but it has been used to help the police department track down a suspect that they were in search of. It's probably the best
Okay.
example.
That's thermal imaging, so if someone's going.
Is the thermal imaging? Okay.
Exactly. Right. So someone's hiding behind a tree in the middle of the night. It's already proved useful in that regard.
All right,
And
then,
also, if there's a major accident, if there's a fire, they can see what's happening above it.
okay. All right, then I will move that, and I need a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And then Arbor Day, I think we talked a great deal about that, so
I'll move it.
you move it, Helen? Second? All those in favor of our, all right?
Okay, and the last one is a total of $21,400 from unassigned fund balance. And this is for what I started to say with the additional wiring here at Village Hall, switches and routers. A total of, combined $21,400 to, even though we purchased some new computers here at Village Hall, we need to upgrade all the components that go with them, including the battery backups. The battery backups for servers, a lot more expensive than the battery backup behind them.
And I know you and the treasurer have looked at this with a fine tooth comb, as they say, so I will move this. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Trustees, did we forget anything? I guess one of the more important things is you will see, thanks to Trustee Knapp, she reminded me that our outdoor dining starts April 15th, Wednesday, and goes through Thanksgiving. And this year, we kind of formalized everything, very post-COVID. And so we have certain aesthetic standards, and I think La Casa, Underhills, Il Baccio, certain folks wanted to participate knowing the new, more stringent rules. And so you'll see them on Wednesday. And going forward, as a request from our restaurateurs, next year we will start right before Easter and let our restaurants have Thanksgiving and then tear down on Monday. So that was a compromise. Is that correct?
We're gonna, there's gonna be a legislation that you're gonna consider. We're going to. Yeah. I mean, I have to work on that over the summer, get you some language that you would all consider.
You can tell what I'm in favor of.
She's dipping her hand.
Okay.
A
Yes,
little bit
we
like,
could strike that from the record, I guess, right?
it'd be a little bit like Hungary around here.
Oh, yes, our dining will open on Wednesday. Yeah.
Dining is opening on Wednesday,
Yes.
under the current program, yes.
No, oh, that's true. Oh, stop laughing. All I want to say is we are so happy to have you as a colleague. And I hope tonight was, I hope you enjoyed as much as we do.
Greatest honor. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful. Trustees, anyone else?
I just think that, Justice Prems mentioned the very important passing of Robert
Yes.
Bob Riggs, who, in his words, was a giant of this community. He passed away at almost 93 years old a couple of weeks ago. His service was last Friday. He served as village council. He served as a village trustee for a number of years. And he also selflessly was the driving force forming the Bronxville Historical Conservancy. So when his mother died in 1998, he took the proceeds from the sale of that house with the Abijah Morgan House at Pondfield in Midland. And he took the entire proceeds from the sale of that house and donated it to the Bronxville Historical Conservancy. So that was $960,000 in 1998. Since that time, in the ensuing years, the Conservancy has given away almost $600,000 to the village of Bronxville, improving areas all across the village, and that this will be continuing to do that into perpetuity. So I think it's hard to underestimate the importance that Bob Riggs had on this community, and he was a dear friend and a mentor to me. So it's a really important legacy for us to recognize.
Perfect. And then I'm reminded in a wonderful, the Corky and Randy Frost have agreed to be our grand marshals of our parade and talk about people who, I mean, the Frosts are endowed the Eliza Corwin Frost Nursery School. Corky was chairman of the planning board for well over a decade. They have given at least 50 years of service, and they were thrilled to be our grand marshals. So we have a wonderful husband and wife team, and we're very excited because it's going to be part of you're involved in the 250th.
Yeah, so we're trying to make this Memorial Day parade even more special, coinciding with the 250th anniversary of the nation. So we're really going to pull out all stops to make this really the best parade ever.
Right. And thanks to Mary Ann, how many bands do we have? 7 or 8 bands for us.
Washington too, I think.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could just mention one other thing, if you wouldn't mind. I just wanted to, we do have our Rotary president in attendance, Susan Johnson, who does an amazing job, and I think they're going to, maybe at the next meeting might be, if it's okay with the board, making an announcement of their 75th anniversary, which is really special for the club. But
Would
thank
you
for
like
coming.
to come and be a speaker, start our meeting next month? And that would be wonderful. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to speak tonight, but you could be a featured. We start with folks from the community who share events, and we'd love to have you. Okay. All right. And then anyone in the audience who would like to talk on any subject is welcome to at this juncture. Yes, come on up. I saw you today out walking. Come. Just share
Hi.
name and address if
Of
you
course.
would.
Brian Doherty, 18 Village Lane. So I'm the new library trustee president. So thank you for allowing me to speak for a few moments. Mainly, I just wanted to thank the village for the incredible support of the library. This year, we accomplished quite a few things. We completed our contract. We launched new branding and logos for the library, as well as a new website. That was done with the support of the Friends of the Bronxville Public Library. I will come back to them as well at the end. Budget came in under and added $80,000 to the fund balance. As well, we got $341,000 worth of grants, thanks to our director, Greg, in concert with the village. That helped pay for quite a few projects, including a new workroom and new boiler. The natural gas boiler already seems to be more efficient than the old oil one, so fingers crossed, although it was a rough winter. In addition, I wanted to thank our outgoing trustees, Tom Dordovich, Nina Evison, Josh Rucci, and the outgoing president, Christina Kretikos. Christina has been a total force for the library over her term, along with Margaret Mager, who really were the ones who got the outdoor project completed, raised a ton of money, $1 million to do that project. I'm in awe of that. Thanks to the village, the Friends of the Bronxville Public Library, and Greg, our director. Jim, be a great partner to Greg and the trustees. And finally, I just wanted to plug our fundraiser on May 1st at the library. It's Art in the Stacks is the theme, so we're featuring the art of the library. And I welcome you all to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Brian, can I just ask, how's the workroom is worked out really well?
Yeah. Great and airy and much better.
Any other comments from the public? No, seeing none. Yes, Neve.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Neve Hartnett-Merluccio, and I live in Midland Gardens. I just want to say congratulations to Helen on her re-election. Congratulations to Vanessa on her election, and to Bill Premps. And it's just a pleasure to have you all here and seeing what you give back to the village, and we so appreciate it. And I just want to say how great that elite event was on Saturday. I play pickleball, and it's wonderful. And the elite guys are great. And I know they work with at the school. So anyone, I encourage, we need more pickleball players. So if anyone wants to join us, and definitely I'd love to hear about the tree planting. And Mary, I'm glad you said about the apartment buildings.
Yeah.
So maybe Midland Gardens can ask you,
Yeah.
Jim, about trees. Question about potholes. Who do we, there are some potholes on Midland, right near the entrance of Midland Gardens. Who do we address that to?
You can email me, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm aware of that spot. We're working.
You're aware of it, okay,
Yes.
all
The
right.
newest trustee.
Exactly, yes. The potholes are becoming craters, right, we speak. Yeah, that's all my comments, so thank you.
Anyone else? What a lovely, gracious way to end our monthly meeting. Thank you, Neve. And we will see everybody. What is our date in May? I know. I'm glad you're as bad as I am.
May 11th, May 11th.
All right. Vanessa, I'm going to give you, would you like to close your first meeting?
I know how to. Motion to close the meeting. How about that?
Well done. And I'll second it, and we'll see all those in favor. Aye. And we'll see everyone on May 11th. Thank you.